Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. And today let's make a review of this bad boy. Ulanzi did send me the U-rig METAL for free, but all that I'm gonna say, it's my personal opinion, and Ulanzi agreed that I would be 100% honest. This video review will be divided in 4 chapters. The introduction, as we are now, exploring the U-rig METAL, and then the good, the bad, and the conclusion. And this conclusion might surprise you. By unboxing the U-rig, I can feel the metal and the strong structure. Let's be honest, this is a camera cage. But for your smartphone, it feels lighter than it looks. It's very familiar in the hands, almost like a real scaled-up compact camera. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4 photography standard screw holes at each side. On the top, it has 2 standard camera hot shoes mounts. Also in the package has a nice fashionable strap that I did use it for a while, but soon I did realize that it isn't my style. The Ulanzi marketing say, and I quote, "The best smartphone video rig in the world." By looking at the package, I imagined that my OnePlus 6T won't fit because it's a big phone, and the main lens is the inside one. But as you can see, it fits between the spring-loaded clip very nicely. The big screw in the front gives extra security, which is a nice touch. Me like it! The secret of a large range smartphone compatibility is the lens mount design. It's possible to attach 17mm to 37mm lens or filters. Ulanzi sends me a wide-angle lens to play, but if you are wondering, yes, the Pixel 16mm 4K is also compatible. Let's play with this puppy. The best smartphone video rig in the world, you say. On handheld, it feels fine, maybe a bit too light to my taste, but for that you can attach a hook on the 1/4 screw and add the preferable weight. But I am a tripod guy, and the main reason, in my opinion, this is a great video tool is because of the 37mm screw. It's possible to add filters there, and this is a big thing on smartphones. The aperture is locked on smartphones, and I do understand why. For a small sensor, play with depth of field, it's not a really big thing, but for video, if you want to have a professional looking video, you need to reduce the shutter speed. Let me just show you what I'm on about. These 2 videos of me shaking awkwardly my arms, which one of them looks or feels natural? If you say the one on the left, let me tell you why. Because the shutter speed on that video is the double speed of the image per second. So this video is 25 images per second, so my shutter speed is 1/50th of a second. And this is how professionals do professional looking videos. To arrive the shutter speed at 1/50th of a second without overexposing, I added ND filters. Boom! We have a corrected exposure. By the way, I am using the Open Camera app. It's free. I don't know how it's free because it's an awesome app. You have a lot of features that you don't have in other paying apps. Very cool if you want to make professional looking videos on the smartphone. So the 7mm screw, it's excellent to add lenses, but that begs the question, which lenses are compatible with the 17mm? For example, the Pixel 16mm 4K is compatible, but the big zoom one isn't. And unfortunately, when we are traveling on the Amazon world, we don't find that specific diameter on the product description. The two hot shoes on the top, it's excellent to add lights, microphones or anything else that it's compatible. A very good example is the setup that I am using right now. As you can see, I am using a panel LED on the top, okay? And here we have my smartphone with the app. It's called Prompt Smart Pro, and the script it's showing up on the top of the video here that I am actually recording. Okay, let me just point here. And the script is showing on the top of that app, follows my voice, and it also can record with the front-facing camera. How nice and cool is that? So let's focus now on the good. As you already saw, the build quality of the U-rig METAL is excellent. So let's jump that. I especially like the way it protects the phone. Clip and lock it in place, and then you have a big metal cage protecting your smartphone. Is a big deal for me. Now I wonder if I didn't use my smartphone as a camera more often because I was afraid of scratching my smartphone or even break it. And that's too bad because modern smartphones have a really cool abilities like film upside down and autocorrect it automatically, really cool slow motion features, and 100% manual control if you use the right app. And 100% manual control is a feature that you don't find on action cameras. So this is a really good example. I don't have the courage to put my smartphone without any protection or even my action camera on this situation. But this rig has a really great protection, and now I have this really cool skate footage. Here is another example. This camera movement dash technique, it's called doggy camera. The more you know. So another point is very light. I know I just said that I don't like it light, but you always can add more weight. The third good thing is the ability of add-ons. So the 1/4 screws and the hot shoes are awesome to use this thing with selfie stick, gorilla pods, lights, microphones, tripods, whatever. Well, you can add lenses on this puppy, but the most awesome thing is the 37mm filter holder. The 37mm filter is already somewhat standard, and if your filters are bigger, it's easy to find some adapters for very cheap. Of course, you must invest in ND filters, especially variant ND filters, to get the most of the U-rig METAL and make pro-like videos from a smartphone. Not everything is good, let's talk about the bad. Let's start with the most simple stuff. I have really big LEDs and I like to use my really big Zoom H4n recorder, so the hot shoe of the U-rig METAL are too close to each other to use both of them. Okay, I must admit, this is a problem of 0.0001% of users, but here we are. So, another bad thing, you need to buy a lot of shit. Tripod and defilter, microphones, and a bunch of other stuff like lights and so on. But come on, if you want to go seriously with the best video quality on a smartphone, those things are essential. Not only on smartphone, on DSLR or any type of cameras, you're gonna need to buy a lot of accessories. So yeah, and the last thing that is really bad is the price. This U-rig METAL is around $60 to $70. You can get something like this, and you can get one of those for very cheap or free when you buy some cheap lens or other smartphones accessories. And comparing with 60 euros with a free product, not everything is black and white. So to photograph the Milky Way with a smartphone video tutorial, I thought that I needed better equipment to hold my smartphone in complete darkness. So I bought this one on Amazon for around 15 euros and I attach it to a ball head. This ball head, it's a hardcore pro one that costs around 25 bucks. And of course, now we are at 40 bucks and no real protection on my smartphone. Honestly, if I knew at that time that this kind of product existed, I would directly buy this thing for 60 or 70 bucks, no problem. Investment, big investment. So, conclusion. So, here in the conclusion, I'm gonna be a little bit more honest and I'm gonna be sharing my opinion, not just facts, but my opinion, my strongly opinion about this. So, to conclude, I must admit that I tried to find the end user for this product and I realized that that user is me. Let me explain. A content creator that wants to make videos, professional looking videos, easily with a really low budget. That's me. Also, I can imagine content creators like makeup artists, gorilla, documentary and journalism, vloggers and live podcasters using this product only because this rig makes life easier. I don't really have a camera dedicated to film YouTube videos, so I jump between my action camera, my DSLR and my smartphone, even if in the near future I get a dedicated YouTube camera. I have to admit that this camera cage, it's an excellent to use with my smartphone as a big camera or as a teleprompter or even as a secondary screen. That happens a lot. And another thing that I have to share with you before ending this video, and if you are an experienced filmmaker or photographer, you may know where I'm going with this. This camera cage has more abilities than what Ulanzi marketing team are showing. The possibility of adding filters unlocks really cool photography hacks, like long exposures during the daylight and, my favorite, time lapses. Well, one of my favorite things to do in photography or videography is time lapse. So I think I have to explain this setup because it's a bit crazy, okay? So what I have here, it's a slider. This is my slider with my smartphone inside of it with the U-rig attached to it. On top there is a ball head adapter with the selfie stick, and the selfie stick has a line attached to the street pole, because when the slider will work like this, it will also rotate the head like so. Okay, I'm gonna make a 40-minute time lapse, okay? And my exposure it's set to 4 seconds, and my minimal ISO that it's 100, and 4 seconds the image was overexposed. So I added an ND filter of 4 on the front, and here we go. If you can check out here, the image it's correctly exposed. So let's start this. So what I'm going to use, it's a really cool app called Intervalometer. Let's activate it. Okay, here it is. And what this app actually do is it can simulate pressing on the screen. So here it is, the red button to press. Now let's change that to actually 8 seconds, as we are taking 4 seconds of photos. Okay, now let's now I'm gonna work on the slider, and yeah, let's see what the hell we're gonna get. If you guys want me to do advanced hardcore time-lapse video tutorial, leave it on the comments. I have developed a lot of time-lapse techniques over the years. If you check out the Azores My Home Place playlist on here on YouTube, you can see a lot of time-lapse that I did over the years in the Azores. I am extremely bored because usually during the time lapses I check out my email, I check out Instagram and all of that, but my phone, it's there. So yeah, and I'm really hoping that no one will call me because I forgot to put the smartphone on airplane mode. If someone calls me, everything will go to